I am still having a freak out over this. 2:07 p.m. Monday, the 14th of April, 2025. Weaver John C. of Roseman, California, and I am having a freak out of this. Several hours ago, El Salvadorian president came over to the White House to discuss matters publicly and in private. Publicly, there were questions asked to the president of El Salvador and unfortunately to our own so-called president of the United States. The one particular person that they were having issues, that the court systems kept trying to tell him that we want him back into the United States. And the Trump administration saying, we don't know, we don't have any power over it. El Salvadorian president saying, we don't have any power over it. We don't know where he is. We're not trying to transport him. No. Oh, we're willing to take money from the government of the United States in order to house your prisoners. Trump made the off-color remarks of saying that they need to build several more, because he was floating the idea, which picked up from every news organization and independents out there, who are absolutely for hours freaking. Every civil rights attorney out there, law firms. We're lucky enough, maybe some of the politicians who actually voted this crap in, over the idea that United States citizens, even birthright, if they didn't even commit any crimes or anything, to be transported to another country for detention without due process. Without due process. Without trials or anything. Just picked up off the street and taken out. Of course, he'd be saying the worst of the worst criminals. I'm trying to compare this to what happened back in 2001 when our country got attacked from individuals. And we turned a base in Cuba into a prison camp for terrorists. We declared war on terrorists. We went out to Iraq and Afghanistan to find the targeted terrorists who were part of the 9/11 attack and to incarcerate them, and expanded it on U.S. territory with Homeland Security. That if anybody was going to be convicted of terrorism, at least they'd go through some kind of due process. But no, instead they got taken over to Gitmo. And because of Trump getting in office for a second time, he's using it worse. Not just for housing undocumented aliens and then transporting them out, or just temporarily there. But no, he was trying to transport them over to El Salvador. And one particular guy who got caught up in the paperwork, and the administration goes, whoops. Whoops. We made a mistake, but now we can't transport him back home. And so is El Salvador president. He's saying his government can't do it either. So the family of this unlucky victim is going to have to suffer a great deal on this one. What's even worse is when we get the threat from our own elected so-called president of the United States threatening the country, the people who voted him in, if they are caught being bad criminals. He gets to deport them without due process to another country. And this is the country I live in now. Where due process is tossed away, courts are going to be the puppet regime. And the cowardly so-called Republicans are now Trumplicans. Every single damn one of them doesn't go against the president of the so-called United States, the so-called president of the so-called United States of America. They allowed our safety nets, security, human aid, disaster relief, weather, services to the veterans, Social Security, everything that we deal with and process our governmental infrastructure collapsing on the so-called fraud and waste. What's scaring the hell out of me now is when will the so-called Republicans try to put in a new constitution of sorts? Or is it just going to be the executive orders of the President of the United States? Did we just hand this country over? And I believe we did because we drank the Kool-Aid. We're handing it over to a tyrant. Worse than a mobster in the 1920s and 30s. Worse than any gang member. He has corrupted our country, our way of life, everything we hold. He may have been born a U.S. citizen. But he was a greedy bastard reaching for power, and now he's reaching for more. And when he did the tariffs, he was also threatening the world, saying, I've got the power over you. How does the political enemies of our country look upon their new rival? Are they laughing at him? Because Trump managed to do the tariff head game on China, but left Russia alone. Curious, isn't it? I'm surprised he hasn't even threatened the Middle East, or let alone the African countries, as much. He's willing to let genocide happen in the Middle East. He's more than willing to lock up our own people. There's been another publicized arrest of a Palestinian student who had a visa who had protested about the mistreatment of his people in Israel. And he's gone. He's disappeared. They've got him on camera being disappeared. But they'll focus more on the taking homegrown U.S.-born citizenships. Maybe it's really damn important for us to get our Social Security information available because now we can't even verify that. We must have our real IDs. Besides having the regular IDs, no, we have to have the real IDs because now it's more imperative. Why? Because we can be tracked. I'm surprised they haven't demanded software to be installed. I know a lot of conspiracy nut jobs out there are saying, we're no longer nut jobs, we told you so. Maybe. It doesn't mean I'm going to be one of them anyway. But I may be labeled as one of them. I've heard some of the stories popping up, and I didn't think they were real enough. I didn't think we'd have the government that corrupted to do such a thing. But then again, I kept forgetting, even ancient Greece, when they started up with the democracy, that was corruptible as well. Is it worth having that kind of a system? Or do we need a tyrant telling us what to do? If in human history, if we ever learned anything, you get sick and tired of it, there'd be a revolt happening, a revolution. Either gradual or abrupt. Try to think of it sensibly. We try to think about it logically. We try to think about it how we can do stuff about it. I'm asking, is there any stuff we can do about it now? Is there? As far as I'm concerned, I'm seeing that our country is in more dire need of help than anything else. And we screwed ourselves over on this one. We all knew that he was going to do this. We were told, we were warned. We kept warning other people about it. We were told we were liberal, wokeism. He was going to bring a great thing to us. So was Nazi Germany back in the 1930s. They were recovering what the hell happened in World War I. And it took them years, more than a decade, to realize it. And then in horror, they saw how their country degenerated to where we had Nazi camp. We had Poland, and Italy, and Germany. We had death camps. We had concentration camps. We had labor camps. Now, we didn't have it here. Germany did. And some of the German people didn't want to hear about it, talk about it, see about it. Others were happy to comply. And the others were victimized by it. They were all victimized by it. So this is what we're ending up with. We're seeing a replay of history. We kept telling ourselves never and ever again it's going to happen. And it's happening. We don't have to have the concentration camps here. We can have them abroad. Thousands of miles away in another country. He's more than welcome to get our money and our people locked up. And we allowed this happen to be on our watch. And those who thought that he was going to be offering a new way of looking at things and having a better way, and we're going to have this and we're going to have that, only to have things taken away, our civil rights, our liberties, our freedom, justice, laws, rules, regulations, the ones that govern and kept our country together, try to be safe, no longer. We have a dictator who wants a parade to feed his ego on the 14th of June. On a day where we have U.S. Army celebrating their birthday. This is going to be a Trump day. This is going to be the day of the Trump, where he wants to parade himself 8 miles down a road in Washington, D.C. on the 14th. There's talk about, oh, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. But it's still happening. And when it does, the world will know what kind of a tyrant and what kind of a country we just turned ourselves into. We turned ourselves into a banana republic like the Republicans kept screaming and yelling their heads off. The more notorious and notable ones saying that we're a banana republic. Even before, but we were turning into a banana republic right before their eyes. Only because they were doing it. They were saying it and they were working on it. They wanted their riches. They wanted their wealth. They wanted their power. They wanted their way of life. And everybody else gets to suffer for it. Corporations rule, but were they threatened? Yeah, they were. If the tariffs are backed off, it's because billionaires are saying, wait a second, you're affecting my damn pocketbook. You can't do that to me. I hope the records of videos out there and copies of all the information will document it into the near future, or even the far future, just how much we screwed over the world with our stupidity and our insanity, our heartlessness, and our inhuman ways of dealing with anything and everything. Just lock them up somewhere outside, pay the other guy to look the other way, and lie. And that's what a banana republic does, except they lock them away in their own damn prisons and lie about their getting out. No, they don't want them out. They want them as examples. Threatening our college campuses, comply or else. Funding would be halted. I wouldn't put it past him to go just at that level. I would not put it past him to go up to the campuses directly. I mean directly. And challenge the administration, not just by a letter from a figurehead. No, bully boys. Every college campus, regardless if it's a big university down at a community level. I would not put it past them. And make the demand. You comply or else we shut you down. Now. Even if it's a state-run college, I would not put them past it. Because they're already getting too damn brazen right now as it is. And we think it's laughable. My own town of Roseman, California, that I keep announcing all the damn time, thinks it's laughable. I'm waiting for them to come here. I'm expecting these guys to walk on the K through 12 campuses that we have here. I think we've only got about 2 or 3 elementaries, 1 or 2 junior highs, and 1 senior high. And I'm expecting a representative, even a low-ranking representative of the administration, court-appointed flunky or state-appointed flunky, to march on there and say, comply or else. Just announce the dictated terms. Even going toward the library and saying, pull all these books now. I would not put it past this administration and the people that follow it and the people that worship and adore it to do that to their own people here in their own state, in their own towns, in their own communities. To scare the crap out of us. Make us comply. Bad enough they would go to the tech industries and announce it. Through your own artificial intelligence, we need for you to check out every social platform you got over there and find out who's talking against us. We want to know names. So they can find other bully boys to come out and terrorize. Or just yank them out. Social media gone. Because the tech giants complied. Was the money coming back in their pocket, or was it the threat of their families being locked up while the CEOs are being complicit? I would not put it past them. I'm not putting it past them. This is our world right now. I kept saying 1776 and 1860, and nobody gets the idea. I kept pleading to these people, do you admit that you fucked up? That you were responsible for this? That you'll be held accountable one way or another through history, either currently or down the road? That you helped make this happen, and what are you going to do about it? It's talk like this would also get me locked up overseas. They'd probably say, you'll never live. That's okay, I've been dead before. I've been dead before. They can kill me. Then I got to deal with the eternity of the afterlife. Not coming back to this planet, that's for damn sure. Or this mortal plane. But I'm not committing suicide either. Nope. I got to take things the way they are, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. If they're going to knock on the door, they're going to pound on the door, they're going to put me in the chains, mask me up, and threaten the crap out of me. And said, nothing. Just take me away. I won't see my dog ever again. That'll be a heartbreaker. But then again, my family's not alive to see what's happening. It'll give me some small comfort that if it happens to get that bad, I may be joining them in the afterlife. I could be afraid about my civil liberty being threatened into silence. No, they'll probably put me somewhere else. Maybe bury me into another prison. Maybe I get Supermax, or maybe I get the wonderful Gitmo, or the fabulous hotel of El Salvador's prison system. A closet to be crammed into. You know, a long time ago I kept announcing myself to be a Christian, but I hadn't proselytized myself. I hadn't promoted myself to be as such. I'm a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Some people considered that a long time ago as being stuck up, privileged. Why? Because I'm a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I'm supposed to be privileged because of that shit? I never thought I was privileged. Never in my lifetime. But I'm here. I'm here. That being said,